Most well-being advice has one thing in common. It tells you to add more habits, add more routines, add more systems, add more to what is likely to be already quite an overloaded day. But what if the real shift comes from what you stop doing? When we face a problem, our brains instinctively try to fix it by adding something, another tool, another hack, another thing to try. Psychologists call this the additive bias. We're wired to solve problems by addition, even when subtraction would work way better. Sometimes less really is more because you can't build a better life, a more joyful life, on top of habits and mindsets that quietly drain you. So before you sign up for another 30-day challenge or build a shiny new morning routine, ask yourself this: what's quietly making everything harder? In today's episode, I'm sharing 3 research-backed behaviors I stopped and how that simple act of subtraction created way more energy, way more clarity, and a lot more momentum in my life. Ready? Let's dive in. Hey, I'm Noemi, former queen of bad habits and corporate go-getter turned well-being coach and personal growth junkie. And in a world full of overwhelming wellness advice, we're here to cut through the noise. This is your space to master healthy habits, transform your mindset, own your well-being, and design a life you love on your terms. We're ditching the highlight reels and embracing the whole messy, imperfect journey towards becoming our absolute best selves. You're the author of your own story. So are you ready to write the next chapter? Let's go, and welcome to Unwritten Potential. Welcome back to Unwritten Potential with me, Noemi. I am so pleased that you're here. And today I wanted to share with you 3 things you should stop doing if you want to design a life you actually love. And the first, stop pretending you will change someday. And you know what that sounds like. I want to be healthy, but I don't have time to go to the gym. I want to stop drinking, but I really need a glass of wine tonight. I want a more meaningful job, but I can't deal with starting over right now. Does that sound familiar? That uncomfortable gap between what you want and what you do, that's called cognitive dissonance. That's when your values and your actions don't line up and your brain gets all agitated. That mental tension drains your energy and just keeps you stuck. And most of us deal with that tension by making vague promises to ourselves. Oh, I'll start soon. Next week will be so different. Oh, after this super busy project, for sure, I will start. But here's the truth. Nothing will change until you're ready to be real with yourself. And that doesn't mean you have to take massive action today. It just means stop pretending. So ask yourself, do I truly want this change, or do I just want it? There's real power in clarity. When you stop saying, I'm all in, when you're not actually all in, you free up so much mental energy. You stop carrying the weight of all the shoulds. I should do this. I should do that. Small, honest steps in the right direction. So that might sound like, I'm not ready to stop drinking, but I want to cut back this weekend. I don't actually want to work out in the gym, but I'll walk 10 minutes at lunchtime. I'm not ready to leave my job yet, but maybe I'll journal about what I actually want, what type of career I actually want. It doesn't have to be all or nothing. In fact, it shouldn't be all or nothing. It just has to be real. So, for example, for years, I told myself that I should quit drinking. 4 years. And sometimes I did temporarily, for a few weeks or a few months or dry January. But when I was off alcohol, I always felt like I was missing out because I didn't really want to quit. Not yet, anyway. But the day I got crystal clear that my life would be happier, healthier, more joyful without alcohol, the cognitive dissonance was gone. I no longer wanted to drink. So the tension disappeared. I quit and it was actually super easy. I haven't missed it since. So if you allow me to put on my coaching hat for a second, what decision would feel easier if you stopped trying to force it and if you just told yourself the honest truth? On that journey of change, where are you truly? The second thing I would invite you to stop is stop chasing goals that don't feel like yours or that don't feel like yours anymore. And raise your hand if you've ever set a goal that looked fantastic on paper, but once you reached it, you were kind of like, okay. Yeah, I'm raising my hands right now, both of them. Hey, that could be getting the promotion that looks fantastic on LinkedIn, but actually you're not really loving the job. Or when I decided to run a marathon because it sounded so cool and some of my friends were doing it, but I absolutely hated the training. Or maybe it's buying the dream house because, hey, everyone does it. Then you realize that it also comes with a dream-sized mortgage and tons of stress. And sometimes it's not that the goal is wrong, but it's that it was never really yours. You were chasing the shoulds. I should do that because it looks impressive, because it sounds responsible, because it matches society's idea of success, so someone else's version of success. But deep down, maybe something felt off. Maybe something feels off now. That disconnect kills motivation because your brain isn't wired for performance, it's wired for meaning. So instead of forcing yourself to go all in, try what Anne-Laure Lecomte calls a tiny experiment. And if you enjoy reading, you should definitely check out her book, Tiny Experiments. It's wonderful. And ask yourself, what's the smallest version of this goal I could try to see if I like it? So if you're thinking about a career shift, don't quit your job, but maybe talk to someone who's doing what you're curious about. Or if you want to get fitter, don't do what I did. Don't sign up for a full marathon, but maybe try a 15-minute class and see how your body feels. And if you don't like that class, try something else. Or if, like me, you'd like to write a book, don't block out your mornings. Just write one messy paragraph and notice what it sparks. Tiny experiments work because they give you real data. They reduce the pressure. They help you find out what fits before you invest tons of time and energy and even money in something that doesn't fit. So if no one else ever knew you did this, would you still want it? If the answer is no, it's probably not your goal. And the third and final thing I would invite you to stop is stop trying to hate yourself into change. Seriously, I did this for years, telling myself to be better, do more, fix it already. But let's be real, if guilt and shame worked, most of us would be absolutely thriving right now. It doesn't work. Self-loathing just wears you down. That inner voice that tells you that you're behind in life and you're not doing enough or you're undisciplined. It's not going to motivate you. It makes change feel way heavier. And it isn't just self-help BS. The research backed this up. Studies show that being kind to yourself during those hard moments make you more likely to take positive action, not less. Self-compassion creates a sense of safety, right? So that calms your nervous system so you can actually do something helpful towards your goals. Plus, positive emotion is what helps new habits stick. It's the foundation of new habits. If a new behavior doesn't feel good, it will not become part of your identity. It will not become part of your long-term routine. So shame and guilt and self-loathing might give you a quick sprint, a bit of a kick in the butt in the short term, but self-kindness builds momentum. So the next time your inner critic shows up, try this and ask yourself, would I say this to someone I care about? And chances are, because I know you're a lovely person, the answer is no. So shift the story from, I need to fix myself, to I want to take care of myself because I matter. Maybe some other reframes, I'm finding this hard and I still want to try again. Or I slipped up, but that doesn't mean I failed. Or I'm in the process of learning how to do this differently. Reframes are so powerful, and change doesn't come from punishment. It comes from partnership with yourself, being on your own side. So, my question to you, what would change if you spoke to yourself like someone worth rooting for? Okay, and here's the thing about subtraction, it doesn't feel productive at first. We're so conditioned to hustle, to grind, and again, to add more because of the additive bias. But sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is create space to breathe, space to think, space to actually feel like yourself. When you stop pretending you'll change someday, you create space for honest action today. When you stop chasing goals that don't fit, you create space to explore what actually lights you up. When you stop trying to hate yourself into change, you create space for real, lasting momentum. And the beautiful irony in all of this, by doing less of what drains you, you suddenly have way more energy to do what feeds you. So before you add one more habit or hack to your plate, pause and ask yourself, what can I subtract instead? Your future self will thank you for the breathing room. I promise you, my friends. And remember, you're the author of your own story and you get to rewrite it at any time. If you enjoyed this episode and want science-backed, guilt-free well-being tips in your inbox each week, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. I usually go into a little more depth than I do in the podcast, just for time reasons. It's free, and you also get access to all of my previous posts. The link is in the description. I would love to have you there. I hope you enjoyed this episode. See you next week. Bye.